Let's now get to our last subject called leadership. We'll take about another 30 minutes here, cover some on leadership, and then we'll take our last short 10-minute break, and then we'll come back and finish up the day finishing up leadership. The title of the weekend was called The Making of a Leader. And it takes a lot of things, really, for the skill of leadership. All the things we've talked about, the personal development side, and setting goals, being able to make plans, game plans, time management, communication, all of that is all part of the preparation and the continuing schooling and education of leadership. But now we're going to cover the subject per se, leadership. And I've got an interesting phrase to start with under leadership, and it goes like this. To attract other people, you must be attractive. And we've covered that, sort of sprinkled throughout the last couple of days. What you want, you attract. So to attract other people, you must be attractive. So a big part of the process of leadership is self-development. Not people development, but self-development. Leadership, the great challenge of the 80s. I call it, in all kinds of fields, science, politics, industry, education, sales. We do need some leadership in the sales field. We're still hearing some of the old cliches of the 30s, right? Roll the pencil across the table, and before it drops, they'll grab it, and you ask them to sign. I mean, you know, we don't need those tricky things anymore. People are a lot more sophisticated. They're a lot brighter these days, right? The old sales tricks won't work, you know. True sales is an educational process. Let me tell you what I've got and how it works. See if you like it. And if I'm good at it, I'm sure you'll buy. If I'm not sure. Let me try. Just honesty and sincerity and upfront and leveling with everybody. I'll tell you what's hard for other people to handle. Total sincerity and honesty. I mean, what do you do with that? I mean, tricks, you can learn to be tricky. If somebody wants to spar, you can learn to spar. If somebody wants to dance and dodge, you can learn to dance and dodge. But what do you do with total honesty and total sincerity? See, that's hard. Schoaf said in the sales field at first, he said, just go out and be just totally sincere. So I did it. In those early days, somebody would say, why should I buy from you? I says, because I need the sale. If I don't sell something soon, I'm in deep trouble. I couldn't believe what that disclosure would do for some people. Try total honesty, and that was total honest. If you don't buy, I'm in trouble. The guy says, well, okay, I'll buy, right? I mean, I couldn't believe it. If you got to, sell with tears in your eyes. See, I tell you why I'm troubled right now. I'm new at this, and I'm afraid if I don't tell it right, you won't buy, and you'll miss the opportunity. I wish this was a year from now. I know you'd buy, but let me try my best. See, just honesty. What can somebody do with just honesty? After I'd make a sale, or try to make a sale, guy says, no, I'm really not interested. I'd say, look, I know now you're not going to buy, but would you give me some tips? I'm brand new at this, sales. Would you give me some tips as to why you didn't buy? Is it because I'm new and I stumbled a little bit? Because I know you need the product. Did you not buy because I wasn't strong enough? Those are interesting questions, aren't they? That's called let's get right down to it. Now see, I was so simple back then in my presentation, I'd just ask, how come you didn't buy? I know you need it. Is it because I'm new? Guy says, well, yeah, probably about a year from now when you get better, I would have bought. Said, then I got, a little better at saying, well, why don't you go ahead and buy? Let's pretend it's a year from now. I don't know, just honesty. Just let it all hang out. Just tell it like it is. You just being clever just isn't really the way to do it, just honesty. Anyway, we need some of that kind of leadership, instructions, helping people these days. Here's another challenge for leadership: parents. A lot of parents are hoping someone else will exercise the leadership role. Teachers, or the church, or the school, or the community. Somebody will take up the task of being the example of leadership. But this is a challenge for parents to take up themselves, to become leaders. Here's the real challenge for leadership. Leadership is the challenge to be something more than mediocre. The challenge to be something more than mediocre. It was said of Abraham Lincoln, when his mother died, he was at her bedside when she died, and her last words to him were, "Be somebody, Abe." And if that story is true, he must have taken it to heart. Be somebody. That's a good challenge. Be somebody. Be somebody wise. Be somebody strong. Strength is attractive. Be somebody kind. All of the attributes of leadership are a unique challenge. Now here's the real key. Learn to be strong but not rude. There's always the thin line that you have to watch and make sure you don't cross. Learn to be strong but not rude. The challenge is to be kind but not weak. Learn to be bold but not a bully. The challenge is to be humble but not timid. Be thoughtful but not lazy. Learn to be proud but not arrogant. That's a challenge. Learn to have humor without folly. It's okay to tell funny stories, but the key in leadership is don't be silly, right? There's a difference between being silly and having humor. Okay, that's the challenge of leadership.